Can you take a 7 weapons, you heard me right, a 7 weapons blog post and turn it into a content empire that serves people? Well, you know what? We're going to find out the answer to that question in just a moment. Episode 130 of the Content Profit Show. And as I always do, when I give that number, I say thank you, because it's because of y'all. Okay. The guests like Karen over here. See, I remember I was teasing about using the right finger, Karen.
You did say
Karen
that.
over here, and all the listeners, and to the podcast, to the live cast, and all the support and all the now the people we get to work with. So thank you. A lot of cool stuff coming up that we'll talk about at another time, because I want to dive right into this. So let me introduce to you my buddy Karen, right here, and tell me, I forgot your last name, Karen.
Ellis.
Karen Ellis,
Mhm.
and she's from Western Tennessee,
Yeah.
as you'll be able to recognize it in a minute. That's a good thing. I love that. And she is the creator of Warrior Women Blog,
Mhm.
and it's a very interesting place to go. That link and the link to this um, blog post will be in your show notes to check out. But what we're going to do is dive in just a second. But first, how did you Reader's Digest version? Karen, how'd you get into this?
Um, just because I have always felt that God has called me to be a prayer warrior for other people. And as I was telling you earlier, in college, I told God I want my life to serve Him completely and just show me the way, point me in the right direction. Sometimes I've been stubborn. I'm kind of a slow learner at times, but He has eventually brought me around to this. So, hey.
I totally understand that. And so, is this for any age, women, or specific age or background?
Really, my quote avatar person is women ages 35 and older,
Okay.
who have, teenage children, adults, grandchildren, because I'm all of those right now.
You said you're all of those now?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have 5 kids within 10 years. So I have
Wow.
grandchildren, adult children, teenager.
Wow. You've definitely been seasoned. Isn't being a grandparent the greatest thing in the world?
It's wonderful. And I have 2 more due this month. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness. So you've got me beat all to heck. I've got 3 years experience with one here. And I can't wait for more.
They're the
Uh,
best.
we'll be celebrating that third birthday in a few weeks here. So with Warrior Women Blog, Karen, what's the dream?
So I really just want to use this blog to be able to help women in whatever circumstance you find yourself in, whether it's a hard marriage or you're single or, just really whatever, to move from feeling defeated, that you're not enough, you're less than, the fear, anxiety, depression, that kind of thing, into living victoriously through Christ and who Christ made you to be. Because I don't believe that God created us to live a defeated life. And I know, reading about Paul and Silas in prison, I mean, they were singing in prison. Now, if I were singing, they would let me out just so they didn't have to hear me. But,
Me too.
but whatever circumstance you're in, you can have joy.
I love it. There is have you ever heard of the group Switchfoot?
Yes, I love them.
Oh, all right. See, yeah,
Yeah,
now here we go. Boom.
there you go.
Seen them. I've lost track how many times, and a couple of times I've gotten the backstage pass to meet them. Just both my boys grew up on that. And one of their songs from the summer of 12 was called, are you familiar with Afterlife?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically John 10:10
Yeah.
set to a rock song. And it's like, yes. So, all right. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right. And so really to help women live an abundant life is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
cool. And now do you have any, I've looked through your blog, but do you have any courses or memberships set up yet?
No, that is something I would really like to do, though.
Okay.
Um,
Well, that's why we're here.
yeah, I have one product. Woohoo! You got to start somewhere, right?
Exactly. Because I remember my first product was an ebook. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still learning the internet when I was a counseling psychologist, working with that people hour to hour, trying to figure it all out. And I did a guest spot live, and then we recorded one for the 2 days later on the #1 soft rock station morning show in town. And one day we were talking about dealing with difficult people, because what we did on the show is we talked about my relationship article from the newspaper that week. We were talking about difficult people and how to deal with them. And one of the DJs goes, "You should write a book about this." And ebooks were like this new thing. And I thought, no, I'm going to write an ebook. So I drove to my office praying for cancellations. All I did was I put 5 articles together, okay,
Right.
in 5 chapters, called it Beat the Bozos, How to Deal with Difficult People Without Becoming One.
Oh, wow.
And put it together, PDF'd it, put on a cover, sent it out about 7 that night for $17. And within the first half hour, the first one sold. And I swear to you, this is why I like doing this so much with people, is it felt like the world shifted,
Yeah, it's so exciting.
and I thought, I can get out of that chair with this, and that's why I tell people I traded my couch for a mouse. All right. So there's all kinds of products we can create from this. Let's take a look.
It's funny you say that. I just got my master's in Christian counseling.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, so we got similar backgrounds. Cool.
I've been a social worker
I
forever.
don't do it professionally anymore, so to
Mhm.
speak, but I do it every day. You can't help but do it when it's part of you.
Right.
I'm trying to get this how I want it. There we go. All right. So this is a sort of a rough draft ascension model that we're
Mhm.
playing with here. Ah, check this out. One of my buddies usually listens to the show.
Uh-huh.
We're to tell you how we are together, Karen. When we go to our mutual mentors workshops, he no longer allows us to sit together. Okay. But here's Phil's comment for the day. Jeff's first book was written on stone tablets. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you, buddy.
That was one of those bless your heart books, wasn't it?
There you go. There you go. So what we're looking at is Karen's new content empire, helping people. And we're going to look at her 7 weapons. Well, wait a minute. We didn't look at that yet, did we? We were talking. Let me go back here because I didn't scroll down. Get ahead of ourselves. Okay, so what she's done here, I like the way you've done this, is take 7 pieces from scripture and turn them into 7 weapons, 7 tips, really 7 weapons. Breastplate of righteousness, belt of truth. The beauty, folks, of doing a 7 chunk, whether it's weapons or tips or whatever, is it gives you so much to build from, as you're about to see. So good job, Karen. All right, so 7 weapons. Talk later about lots of different ways to get traffic. There are so many things we can do with this.
Mhm.
And a 7 warrior or 7 chunk blog post lends itself really well to a flagship course. And what I mean by a flagship course is something that you're known for. When
Okay.
people think of Karen Ellis, they think of, oh, these 7 weapons. Okay. Sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean. And so that's where we'll focus today. And you're going to get the recording of this and the video and the audio. And so take as
Oh,
many
good.
notes as you want, but you don't have to get everything. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So from this, we can also build higher and lower. And what a flagship course is, like I said, it's something you're known for. One of my early ones was called, my first one was article writing and marketing secrets, because some turkey had already gotten articlemarketingsecrets.com before me. And then the next one became content cash machine. No, content marketing cash machine. And people knew me for that. Okay? And I was able to get on stages all over the place, from local to Dan Kennedy stuff. So this stuff really works for you. Now, you've got 7 parts to this. Excuse me, folks, I'm still getting over, or just getting over, this upper respiratory junk. And what happens when it's a course is in the old days, you could put like 20 modules in there and people would think, oh, well, that's cool. Now they see 7 or over and think, I don't know if I can do all that. Okay. The way around with this one, because each one, I mean, one of the things you can do is combine 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
These need to be kept separate. Okay. And so what we can do, Karen, is make this a 5 module course.
Okay.
Okay. And then weapon 6 and weapon 7 can be bonuses,
Oh, okay.
or really any of the weapons. I'm just thinking of doing it in order.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that way it's the same material, but it's absorbed and experienced differently. Oh, I can do 5 modules. It goes from, oh God, 7 modules. How am I gonna to, oh cool, 5 modules and I get 2 bonus ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh great. And you just change the arrangement of it. Now, uh, it I don't necessarily say this makes it 7 modules, but I do like putting a tip and a tail on courses. And the beginning is sort of a get started here piece. So you could get women a quick win, you know,
Okay.
even before the training starts. And then the one on the end is instead of a conclusion or a review, it's next success steps. And so you would work with them about what's the next step to take. Okay.
Okay.
Now the question becomes, what the heck goes inside that course? Well, uh, the good news is, and I want everybody to hear this, even you, Phil, um, is that you've already created a lot of the content in your blog post or article. It needs to be expanded and it needs to be put in different forms. But just remember, you're not. This is the beauty of going from content to cash or content to product is you don't have to stare at a blank screen, which ruins most people from the beginning.
Right.
Okay? And so, a short video, 15, 20 minutes, um, because attention spans are getting smaller and smaller. So you want to just give it to them. You could take that snippet from the article or
Mm-hmm.
from the blog post and just post that, maybe add to it. Checklist, what else? Template, if it makes sense. A Q&A. You can do a quiz. You can do a workbook. All kinds of stuff for each module. Um, you don't have to do all of those, but maybe 5 out of 7,
Mm-hmm.
because people are going to think, meatier than like a mini course would be. Okay. Um, and so the good news about starting there, here's the cool part, Karen. And yeah, it's going to take some work to get that done and promote it, and I'll help you with that.
Okay.
Um, once you've done that, you essentially have the outline for everything else you could do. Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
So if you have a membership, then each month you would teach one of those weapons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do one live teaching a month and then a live Q&A. That way your service delivery is only about 2 hours a month, which is nice.
Yeah.
And the service consumption for the customer is better too. Okay. And then you've got, you take those 7 things, okay, one a month,
Mm-hmm.
and then just do it again. And now you've got 14 months instead of 12, and you're not teaching the exact same thing
Mm-hmm.
that you taught before, even though it would be okay, because this, some people aren't ready to hear something and they are later.
Right.
Plus you'll be getting new people. Let's work our way down. A course would be this is real close to a flagship course and this course are similar. It would just be maybe smaller and shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's where you could combine. You know what I would do is I would take these 7 and find like 3 different sets, like a set of 3, a set of 3, and a set of 2.
Okay.
Could do it at once. This is when it gets really cool. Every one of those weapons is a mini course, right?
Right.
Where you teach just about that, and you've talked about that before. Um, and then a master class is sort of I'll tell you what it's not. It's not one of those same old cheesy fluff and pitch webinars.
Oh,
You know, I know, with a nice. I stayed on one once. There was one thing I wanted to get out of it,
yes.
and 30 minutes in, they were still talking about how great they were.
Yeah.
And the only reason I stayed is I thought, more than that piece of information, I want to see how long they'll do this for. So yeah, that's that. This is not that. This is a paid masterclass where you take one chunk, okay, breastplate of righteousness, for example, and you
Mhm.
teach about that no more than an hour,
Okay.
with the goal being they walk away with something they can use
Okay.
right away. Okay. Now, with here's folks for everybody. Here's the power of this 7 chunk stuff. Okay. That's 7 master classes, 7 mini courses, a course with 3 sections, a flagship course, and a membership from one idea. All right. So you guys understand now why I'm into 7 tips, or as Karen's called them, 7 weapons. Making sense so far, my friend?
Yes. Sounds
Okay.
great. I have already a lot of notes.
Yeah, I'm getting a little glimpse of the future.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. Now, um, here's the cool thing. Uh, in an ascension model like this, I've heard it taught that you've got to go through all this before you get to the membership. That's crazy. Okay. Because every one of these is an on ramp. Okay. So somebody might take a mini course and go, ooh, I want to be in the membership. Or,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, I want to take the bigger course. Somebody might take a master class and want to do other stuff. So all of these are on ramps. And each one, the percentages grow as we get higher of what percent of people that take a master class are going to end up in membership. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on all roads leading to membership,
Okay.
simply because I'm real transparent with this about people. I have a spreadsheet of recurring income. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very refreshing to get up in the morning, check that, and go, oh, all that's coming in whether I do anything or not today.
Right.
Okay. It's like, thank you, God. Um, and so um, then a higher percentage of the mini course people will go membership, higher percentage of the course. Flagship course, here's where I learned this. And those of you all that are regulars may have heard this story before, but Karen hasn't. So um, I was coming back from Virginia Beach to Atlanta that night. I was going to be doing a preview call for one of my signature courses, one of my first ones. And I stayed too late that morning, and I only made it to outside of Charlotte, Kannapolis, North Carolina. Okay. So I set up in the Hampton Inn, and I'm doing my thing because, I mean, you can do this from anywhere. And I'm listening, Karen, to the last time I had done this preview call, and make sure I wasn't missing anything, covered everything. And I heard myself congratulate 3 people that had joined the membership from it. And I said their names in a row, and I stopped in my tracks. I went, wait a minute, all 3 of them are in the membership. And oh, go back and look at the numbers, Jeff. And about a third to a half of the people that take a flagship course are going to join a membership. So if you got 10
Oh,
members, you're going to get 3 membership people. If you got 100, you're going to get 30-ish. Okay. So those are some pretty cool numbers. Now, I told you this would be the fastest 20 minutes in the world. Um, hopefully, it'll be one of the most helpful. Any questions with what we've got so far?
I've thought about the membership part before. I think that's something I need to explore a little bit more,
Yes, ma'am.
because I'm just not really sure how that works and what all I would do. How am I going to come up with content for? Is it once a month? Is that how that works? That you do
Yeah,
something or?
this model, you can do anything you want, but once a month is the easiest.
Okay.
And you're talking to the right guy, because creating content, I've been doing it since '94. Okay,
Oh
and
gosh.
so taking somebody's stuff and putting it into content that represents them well and helps people is,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a little bit nerdy, but that's kind of my superpower, is being able to look at this stuff and
It's
see
okay.
all
I love it.
So anyway, all right, we need to start wrapping the show up. Um, Karen, thank you so much for
You.
being open-hearted to your calling, um, for coming on the show, being a great guest, and bringing us great stuff.
Well, thank you for having me and for helping me with this. I really appreciate it.
You're my pleasure, and we'll talk a little bit after we're done with this about some things we can do.
Okay.
And then, folks, if you want to be sitting in Karen's seat someday, not in her home, um, but in your own home or office, the link is right below my name. And we'll go back to where it's just us two.
Okay.
Once I find my mouse, there we go. There we go. Right down here is the link, contentprofitseat.com. You've just seen one. All right. I would recommend listening to this again or watching this again, folks, with these two questions in mind. Okay. How can I use what Jeff and Karen just did in my own business? And two, how can I get Jeff to do for me what he just did for Karen? Okay. And that's the content profit seat down below. All right. So, again, Karen, thank you so much. Folks, thank you for being here. A lot of places you could have been online, and you chose to be with us. And I'm always honored and appreciate that. And until next time on episode 131, you guys know what to do. Go use this stuff.